Grand Final is starting. And yeah, as I said, we start with Stadium, which is my main chance to get a very good position and many points. Also, some fastest lap points would be possible theoretically. My training could have been better. 5 minutes warm up. Ooh. Maybe a bit more warm up because we today in the Grand Final drive 24 laps overall. The points from the qualification and the semis are still there. We add basically now Grand Final points onto that score. Whoever has the best score after this Grand Final, which is split into 2 days. Today 3 environments, tomorrow 4 environments, will then be declared the winner. Goal for me is getting into the top 10. I'm currently 11th. And very close, basically equal to 9th. However, Zeus is for sure over all the environments going away. But I have a small chance to actually reach that 10th place. But that requires a lot on this first race in Stadium. So now we do 24 laps and you get points for your position after 24 laps. And you also get points for the fastest lap times. The 24 fastest laps in this race will get points. The very fastest lap gets on 24, second fastest 23 and so on. Maybe there was a multiplier to those as well, I don't know. The points here in this race are mattering much more than what we had in the semis. So there's a bigger difference in points between each position. So every position matters. I was looking at in-game chat. So the thing for Stadium is following. We have Roa here, who, I say it now, who will win. Also if Roa doesn't win, then something is wrong. Then we have the 2 title favorites, Drim and Sander, who are already a little bit slower than what Roa can drive. And they are maybe fighting for that second place. The next best guys would be Neku, which is the 3rd title aspirant. I don't know the English word. And Zepsat maybe. Maybe Lolita, maybe Speedso, I don't know. But around that region, like all these players that I just named, I want to beat, kind of. Or if I was fully no-lifed, I should be able to beat. Of course, it's a long race, a lot can happen. But those are the players that I should battle with, and that I hopefully beat. Because there is this gap to get at least the 4th place here in Stadium. That's like my will to achieve that. Maybe also get something into the fastest lap times. But then I would need to drive PB. If I drive PB, then I could be in. That's not safe. there we go. The start of the grand final of the United Masters Season 1. Hey, I got a win for that. Amazing block. And I had free vision there. I could have actually attacked now. Ah. Finally. Let's get to the next one. First overlap question mark. This is the card that bugged out, I guess. Sander. So Sander doesn't have the best start here. Oh. was very consistent there in front. Yeah, on lap 20 now, out of 24. Ah, shit gear. Over the finish. Would like to go for fastest lap again. That's an overlap, you saw that from the line from the opponent. I guess someone in front made a mistake. And it's not equal with the other guy ahead. Yeah, so at this point I can decide to save it into the finish. Huge slowdown, but yeah, last lap. I couldn't catch up to the guy in front. I would have been around him without my one bug that I had. That bug that cost me the time, basically, to be part of that battle. And it feels like there a second guy made a mistake and was now also in that fight ahead of me. So theoretically, maybe a third place was possible. We will see that at the finish. I have 2 seconds lead to the guy behind me. I'm sure I didn't drive the pace I wanted to. I'm not sure if I have a very fastest lap. Probably I don't get points here, and they would have been maybe needed. But it was super consistent. So I end up in 6th, yeah, and it's Neko and Sepset ahead of me, and those two I could have had. Xander, who zooped by, got up to 3rd, but finishes behind Trim. I finish ahead of Lolomax, Lolita, then Speedsaw. My 12 lapper times, also you can basically sum up now the 12 lapper time if you multiply it by 2, yeah, then it would have been much slower. So here my 12 lapper time was around, naja, a 12:31. 32, of course the second 12 laps are a bit faster because you don't have the start lap. Yeah, it's not fully the pace I wanted. As I said, 4th place is my aim here, and I could have been 4th. You see that. Those are the 2 that are ahead of me. Those were the 2 that were kinda beatable and on the same pace. I was catching up a little bit for a long time. But yeah, the one bug basically, the one bug pushed me too far behind them. But it was overall good. Yeah, I don't think that I got... I don't think that I get the fastest lap time. You see the top 12 fastest laps in the top. 101.11, then 0.16, 0.18, 0.20, 0.22, 0.22, 0.24, then Trim 0.27 and 0.30, and 0.31 for Roa, 33 for Roa, 34 for Roa. Oh. Okay, next environment. So this environment, hi Shishas, this environment I did not practice at all today. Because in my opinion it's not really a very important environment for me. I don't think that I have a shot for a decent position here. I wanted to basically use my training only for those environments where I can definitely win many positions with that. On desert, especially on this kind of track, most of the opponents will be ahead of me anyway. And I could train this very hard and then still throw it basically. So here it is kind of a fight for the last places. I gave up on that, but I wanted to look more at Stadium and on Bay. And yeah, Stadium, 6th place is okay, but of course I should have gotten a bit better than that. Like for me, if I want to reach the top 10, it would have been quite important to reach something better than 6th, I can tell. Like a 4th place would have been nice, definitely. And people like Zepset and Neko are not really Stadium drivers, so I would like to beat them, but yeah. I started too late with the Stadium train, and I got a bug in the middle of the race. I'm interested to see my times that I drove in the end. Like, for sure I drove a lot of 102 low, and maybe also a 101 high, but most likely I did not manage to get anything that would be close to the fastest laps. Then it doesn't matter, of course, but these fastest lap points, the question is, what is the 24th fastest lap that was driven in the race? And could I have had a chance to reach that? But probably not. Probably those top 24 times were basically between Roa, Sander and Trim. And then it doesn't matter too much. But of course I wanted to have overall a little bit better pace so I can battle with Zepset and Neko and overtake them. I mean, one of those two was definitely very far in front and made a mistake in the end. The other one, I was following him all the time and I came a tiny bit closer, but the consistency was just very strong. I guess it was Zepset then, and that Neko is the guy that makes a mistake. That's the most likely scenario. I caught up to Zepset quite a lot, but my distance from the start, when you have many cars around, and also from the moment where I bugged out and then I had to overtake multiple cars again, that was basically the moment where I lost it. Lolo Max 5th in Stadium is very surprising. Also Lolo Max definitely did many points for this environment especially. That's like his main weakness, and he got 5th, 7th I mean. Only one place behind me. That's actually sick. You wouldn't expect Lolo Max to be there. So maybe he is also on a roll today. Maybe he tried hard. Yeah, I'm now here on Desert, and yeah, if I will be last in this race, I could think of DNFing. And casting the rest, because I'm also like interested to see that battle. Here on Desert it will be really interesting who will take it. Like, there are a lot of very good players in Desert, very good on this track especially. But I mean, I have of course myself also a chance to overtake one or two. I don't have to be that last. Like, if I do a good performance, then I will not be last. But yeah, I practice not at all this map now, because I think even with a lot of practice I would only gain like 2-3 positions maybe. So I rather practice Stadium and Bay, where I can gain much more if I bring my performance there. Stadium was okay-ish, could have been better, but I mean the consistency was also for me pretty decent there. So 2 positions could have been, I could have had it better. Naja. Yeah, I saw the 12th best lap. I have to check the website for top 24. Like 0.6, 0.7 is exactly where I could end up. But I could also see that it is much closer behind these 0.3s. Because we saw now a lot of Roa and Rim in the best laps. But Sander was also fast with his comeback. So where were his best times? They must have been very good as well. And probably a lot in 0.4, 0.5 range from Sander then. And then you have of course also multiple other laps from Roa. So I assume that there was still a lot more possible. Okay, Desert. Let's see how this race will go. And after that we go to Bay. 24 laps of this masterpiece, that will be fun. One guy with a crash here that costs a lot of time, I know that. When he overtakes me, we can see who it was. I hate that part here. See how much I lose every lap. Oh, I'm on the 10th place here actually so far. It's much better than I thought. Just shows how much people are choking here. So finishing here in 10th place, it would be much above my expectations. Is the word that I wanted to say. But I don't think that I can keep that. People will come with more speed from behind. I saw this, at least this one guy that made a big mistake. Also, I'm not sure if I can stay consistent. How much I lost to the pair of cars I had this lap alone. One of them with a respawn. Respawning is here better than, so when you crash, than continuing the uphill thing. I never tested it actually, so I can't say for sure. Oa is one place ahead of me, just overtook. He said he doesn't really feel confident here, and I can understand that. I also feel no confidence on this map. I can basically only hope that there are players that are a little bit behind the fast players, that feel like they have to risk if they want to beat the fast people, and then they risk too much, make early mistakes, try to come back, make another mistake, and then I lose the focus and give up this race. It's my only chance that I basically keep these people then behind me. So that would be the people that are not as much faster than me. That was close to die. Oh, again, someone right behind me. It was Sepset who was passing me. Sepset wants to be much further ahead on the desert. He had a good staging result. But this is definitely under his... Also way too bad for his skill level. Let's see how he can come back, how far he can get up. But obviously he would overtake me if he had a bad start and is behind. Sepset belongs to a much different position than me. You see how much I lose, like, I have to save so much to not die on this map, and I'm just losing so many seconds per lap. Like, really seconds. And I always hear then the next guy right behind. Now it's Speedso. It will be close and overtake. Speedso, however, is maybe one of the guys that I can beat. Speedso, who overtook me here after my small drift. He's a direct opponent for me in this season. We both are battling it out for reaching the top 10. He's like my main opponent. So if I win this place against him back and finish here ahead of him, it would actually make a huge difference, because it's either he wins a lot of points on me or the other way around. He was lucky there, holy shit. He was lucky that he didn't lose more time. Speedso Airlines. I had an also shit turn because he landed exactly ahead of me. But you see, the other guys that overtook me earlier, that you don't see them anymore. They have a different pace. They made early mistakes and came then from behind, trying to catch up other players. That's the thing, if I had trained Desert more, I wouldn't be one position better now at this stage. The next guy ahead of me is 8 seconds in front. So I wouldn't be at any better position if I trained. The only thing is I could maybe keep the position against Speedso. Maybe it being no train here is actually better for me now. Maybe I would have done worse if I had looked at the track. You will see with Bay. At Bay I had a look and drove much faster. You will see if that is good or not, because I might make mistakes on Bay. I really want to try faster, because I have a good pace on Bay. It's a good map for me in theory, but I drove literally in the semi-final, in the Consolidation final, 3 seconds per lap slower. That's how much I saved, yeah. If I just drive 2 seconds faster, well then, I have good chances. So I have a lead. So Speedso a bit, not much. One such a drift and he will come again, like the other time. And then it's Lucario, the next guy behind. Behind Speedso's Lucario, with who I had an extremely close fight in the Consolidation final. We had a battle there in the last lap. We were side by side going this uphill here. Oh, he's close now. I didn't drive my best lap here. A little bit more confidence, and I could pace-wise keep indefinitely behind. But I have always a bad corner in my runs. That makes me lose time. And so in that moment when he passes me, I will be much slower again. You saw the other time. He passed me and then I was super slow, because I had the car in front. But you see the field is kinda split into two parts. You have all the fast guys ahead, and then you have the slow guys around me. Also myself and behind me. Still many laps to go. We are on lap 16 out of 24. Still a long race. Touching the booster, but I'm not getting faster with it. Oh, the inside wall. Personal good time. He was driving similar fast. He's pushing, man. And so far he didn't do a mistake. Also not another mistake, since he's pushing. Well, he did do a mistake. I only had to say something. I led too much closer with this shit lap. Going into the last lap. And I didn't see anyone behind me. I'm actually not that far behind the guy in front. We're already finished. And I get a much better position than I expected. Wow. Absolutely the perfect possible finish time, finish position that I could get. Nice. And it is Lolo Max winning on Desert. Nice one. Lolo Max is back, guys. Sander gets second place. Drim is third. we have Neko in 4th place. And Blackhead in 5th, then Garfowski on 6th. That's not good, the Garfowski is my opponent. Roa and Sus. Sus also an opponent, only 8th. Then Zeps at 9th, Phil 10th. So Sander beats Trim here by 1 position, but Lolomax is catching up, Neko in 4. So the top 4 this season doing well here. I beat Jumper Check, actually, who has beaten Fat. Jumper Check, Fat. And Speedso fell back to 14th. Oi, he must have had big mistakes in the end and just barely finished that of Lolita and Lucario's last. Those are of course also like the... we have of course 8 players that I cannot reach. They have too much of a lead against me in the season. And from the other players that I battle with, I need to be top 2 basically. And it is Garfowski and Zeus who finished ahead of me here in this. That's why I'm... 8 players are better than me, so I could be 9th. And from the other players, 2 were in front of me. But Zeus doesn't win many points on me. Garfowski, however, does a little bit. Don't remember where he was in Stadium. And yeah, important, I beat Speedso by 3 positions. That's better than I expected. (101.47) was top 24. Yeah, okay, impossible. Well, then. A bit different than 0.6, 0.7. I bet Santa had a lot of 0.4s. And here, you can also see the top 12 times and many different people in here. We got Neko, and then this lead from Neko to the other players. No? Then Blackhead, then again Neko. Then comes Sander, again Neko. Then Blackhead, Sander. Then Lolomax, Blackhead, Neko. So we have a lot of Neko and Blackhead, and they finished in 4th and 5th, but they get most likely more points than Sander, Drim, and Lolomax in the fastest laps, so they basically catch up there. That means it's quite tight between those players, you can say. It's quite tight between them in the points. You have the consistent players in front. Drim, I don't see him, of course. He got 3rd, but has no fastest lap time. Lolomax and Sander, at least you see these names. Once Lolomax, twice Sander. Naja. Alright, so now Bay. So what is my... Also on Desert, I am better than what I expected. On Stadium, I was around there where I expected, but I knew 4th was possible. Here, I told myself like 7th place or something would be nice. If I can get my my pace into this race and then keep it without mistakes, then I think I can even go much more in front. But it can easily happen that now when I try to drive this a bit faster that I die. The thing is, if I drive it like the last times, I will be around last position in the end. So I need to try faster. I need to. There's no other way. I need to drive the 107s at least. I drove a 106.2 earlier, and I didn't train this map a lot, but did that time. The thing is, if I want to end up in the top 10 overall, then I have to be good here, so I can't chicken out, because I need a good position. The thing is that tomorrow we play Island and Rally, and on those environments I will be definitely far behind. There I have not even the chance to compete for something better, can't even hope for big mistakes from others. So, and then also snow, it's the same there, like snow is also tough. So I have quite tough environments tomorrow. That means on Bay I have to get a top place. I have to. There's just no other way. I need to have these environments where I create a gap to the players that I battle with. And I do battle with Spizu, I do battle with Grafowski. Grafowski is basically the main thing that we have to look at. Grafowski is someone that is definitely well prepared. Bay is usually one of his weaker environments though. And it should be, like, if we compare Grafowski and myself, then it's clear that in all 3 TMO environments he's ahead. In Island, he's also, like we are, then maybe similar, but he also has a chance to be ahead there. And the other 3 environments, which are my strongest ones, I just have to beat him. It can't be that Grafowski overtakes me here. But on this map it is possible that he overtakes me, at least he did much better in the semi and consolidation final. But now I hope I drive this much faster. And with that I can clear him, because I need some environments where I beat him, otherwise he will of course score more points than me. So I need to beat him. And the best is when between me and Tim are some more other players in between. Sander is very, very good here. Like, I expect him to win, also with a good lead, unless he makes big mistakes. But usually he's also very consistent, so I wouldn't count on that. Okay, good luck, have fun guys. 24 laps of intense Bay driving. This is Bay. Cars are forced on. I wouldn't drive with cars on if I had the chance to put them off. At least it's good for you guys, so you get a nice race here to look at. See my car. I decided to chicken out here in the first lap because I don't want to be in the first lap between all the cars. Yeah, very many different lines that you can take at the end. I also tried a very tight line where you take the booster, like a respawn booster. I also tried that, but it was not faster for me than what I'm doing. Shit. I just wanted to say I'm in a good position there. Because I had free vision. And then I make a small blunder. And of course, there comes a car. Puts itself right ahead. And there's the next one over. Don't want to take this boost time too fast for this turn then. Oh man, they almost tried the steering wheel here. If you steer just a tiny bit too much, then you slide out. And then it's dead in such a fast path. I could be ahead of this group, man. But it's a long race on this map. A long race. So far I'm not on the position that I want. 13th is close to last. Yeah, I have hopes for much better. But the race is still long. Just people didn't make big mistakes yet. I had to release so much. That was shit. That was shit. There's a big group of cars, so nothing is over here. What a slide it was. Ooh. I'm only 11 seconds behind first. The field is just really, really stacked. Another drift. Oh! It makes the chicane a bit tight. There's one guy behind. Nice. Gonna crash this partner. Also surely I'm not driving as fast as I want to, but the level is immense. How did nobody, not nobody, but how did only so few players crash? This map is next level difficult. And I'm on such a bad position. It's incredible. Wow. He had a small oopsie ahead of me. And then he just doesn't lose really much with it. And then he no-lies through this corner. Like, he YOLOs fully through this corner. Not right with me. run. Just when I overtook one of them. We came very close to the next one. Okay, that was a big mistake. Or was it 2 mistakes even? And I didn't want to chicken out, but the speed with that they go through this is just crazy. It annoys me that every time he overtakes me there. And then I have his car again ahead of me in this section here. So annoying. That was only half of the race, by the way. Like we are a bit over the half. Also I knew it would be difficult on Bay, but so difficult. This party didn't exist, man. Directly behind. In the first lap where no car did pass me there. Scheiße. Ah. Ah, that's unlucky. Also I could have had 9th place. Jumper check actually failed. He's not far in front either. Lost 2 positions in the last 3 laps with 2 mistakes. Before that I had an extremely clean race. Garfowski loses only 1 single position to me, and he's he's super far behind. He lost 10 seconds with one respawn, but he still would be behind. Didn't make a single position for him. Sander wins as expected with 23 seconds of a lead to Lolomax. Lolomax Gaming ahead of Drim. Then Zepset in 4th, doing really well. Roa in 5th, good for him. Zeus with a bad race for him, with only 6th place. And Neko losing a bit of contact to the other top players who got top 3 places. So Neko only 7th. Jumper check then 8th. Also I must say I'm really happy with my performance overall. You see now top 20 time, I drove a 107.11, so I drove much faster, yeah. And I'm sure I also... Arm is dead, says Sander. But yeah, the top times Neko with a 0.05, then Sander 09, Sander 0.23, 0.23, 0.25, 0.29. And then comes Drim with 33, Roa 38, Zepset 39, Zeus 47. And then Sander and Drim again 52 and 53. Yeah, Neko has the fastest time, but then not much else. So maybe he did mistakes, but on another level than what I could have achieved. Also, jumper check was possible to get, yeah, because I was ahead of Phil, and jumper check made a mistake. It's not much ahead of Phil, but would have been difficult. Definitely, I would have liked to stay ahead of Phil, though. That I lost these 2 positions, it hurts. It hurts a lot for the season as well. I had as goal an 8th place, and to be honest, I was completely correct. 8th place was exactly what was possible here. Got 11th. I knew that could also happen. It is of course one of my better envies, but it's an environment where everyone is good, and it's so stacked. Shout out to the players, they made barely any mistakes on such a difficult map. I'm highly happy with how I drove for the most part, but I heard that Phil guy coming from behind. I heard him, I heard his car, and I knew, oh shit, he's there. And if I slow down just a little bit, he will come. There was always this one section where people got much closer, and then I heard the engine sound and the slow part afterwards. And I was so afraid of Phil coming there and passing. Yeah, and then I got that slide before the hairpin. And that completely ruined my line and made me lose really a lot of time. It's just the slide itself was not that bad, but because of the turn combination, it was really shit. And then I tried to come back and overtake Phil, but he drove this kind of consistent. It was not really possible to catch him. And in the last lap, I mean, I also heard that Lolita, that someone else is right behind. And I was then in this fast sector thinking, he comes now super close. So I risked a bit of chicane. I was jumping super far. And came with very tight angle into the road, and then I got this auto slide in the transition, and it did kill me then enough so that he could overtake. a bit unfortunate. Because I had, of course, if we go 3 laps prior, I would have had a position against Lolita pretty safe if I just focused only on him. But because I focused on Phil, then had that small mistake where he overtook me, and then suddenly there was also Lolita seeing his opportunity. Also here I definitely lost 2 places to a kinda almost perfect race, because also this was so 1,000 times better than what I drove before. But I'm only 11th with that. Only 11th. That's incredible, the level. Like, with such a performance, barely any mistakes. Also, there are mistakes that cost you way more time than what I had in the last 2 laps. And I had, of course, also one 2-wheeler in the last turn. That was shit, because I just overtook someone and then I lost the position again. Also, I had small oopsies, but overall that was quite good, in my opinion. I still chickened out a bit in the fast sector, yeah. You saw that often enough how they overtook me. But at least I never crashed there. But yeah, sick. The level. So I got now 6th and then twice 11th. Or was I 10th on desert? No, 11th. Yeah, overall, pretty good. But of course I hope for a better place on Bay. I hope for some mistakes that people will fall behind me, that they also drive a slower pace than what I do. When I improve by so much. But yeah, was a good first half. Again, exactly, we're gonna have a look at the overall ranking. We do that here on my streaming PC. United Masters. So we have here the grand final rankings, yeah, and at the moment I am on 10th place, so that looks not too bad. So we started with Stadium, where Roa has dominated and got 729 points. It was to be expected, because there was no other Stadium player, and it is his own map. It's his own map, and there was no other Stadium player on his level. Like, if Danik B came into the final, it would have reduced Roa's points by a lot, but that was not the case. You see, the best lap points, 217. The best lap points will play a huge role in the fight for who wins in the end. Because if you have such a dominant environment where you are the only one, and then you can on that level, then you can get all these extra points. That is just huge for Roa, and that basically put him much further ahead, because he was not doing good in the semis at all. But this here puts him so much further ahead, because he got these extra points. Otherwise, you saw Trim getting a bit more points than Sander, who had a bug. That was the only reason that Sander had a bug. You can see, if you click here, the top times. No, actually I hope that we see all the times. How do you do that? How do you see the top 24 times? I am the yellow bar here. Oh. Yeah, I thought you could see that. Someone answering? No. Also, when I click on here, you see the best times, but you only see now the top 12 times, even though it shows here 13, 14. It is obviously 7th, 8th, and so on. I hoped you would see more than that, but it doesn't work. So second map. Also, I of course won here a lot of points to Gafowski. See, Gafowski gets 128, I get 352. But on other maps, that might exactly go the other way around. But this is basically what I'm going for. I go for certain environments where I score extremely good points. And Stadium was one of these environments where I have to make sure that I go far up. I said the gap to the already qualified players for the grand final was a bit too huge. But Phil is maybe possible to get, because on Stadium he lost already a lot of points on me. Yeah, so he is maybe possible to get, but only if I drive perfect final. Not Frostbuell, I always say. Lolo Max is doing extremely good, like for Stadium 7th place, is very good for him. Naja, so then we have Rainbow Bridges. The desert map, where I'm really happy about 11th, and I only lose 1 single place on Phil. That is why I think, yeah, why not? I lose 5 positions to Gafowski, while he was losing 7 positions to me here. But yeah, overall pretty good. Much better result than what I expected to get. But is there a mistake here? Okay. I guess that this score here is only for the grand final. I think that this score is only for the grand final. Roa had 729, then you add 320 to that, then you end up at 1049 exactly. So this is the score only for the grand final. I got 192 points here. Yeah, no best lap. Best laps went to Neko mainly, and then you see that he got 528 points, which is second best score, even though he was only on 4th place. So that was actually quite sick from him, that he got so much high up in the points. Trim is losing there a little bit. Frost, Lolo Max got the most points. Nice win, nice to see that he won. Yeah, then the other positions. So now here, what were the other places? So we had Sander, and then we saw Lolo Max beating Drim, Zepset, and then we have Roa, Zeus, and Neko, then Jumper Check, Phil, Lolita, myself. And yeah, if I had beaten Phil, yeah, I would have had 256 and he only 224. So I would have gained 32 points from him, but now instead I'm losing 64. That means basically this is a 100 point difference in the fight against Phil. I could have had 100 points closer distance to Phil in the total standings. I only win one single position to Gafowski, who was 12 seconds behind me. He has beaten Speedso, those are my two opponents. Interestingly, Black had only 14th, so he not really performing. Of course, Stadium was not his, only 5th in Desert, where he should do much better. I mean, he also still got good points here, because he got a lot of fast lap points. But Blackhead here underperforming, Lucario, Fett, Blackhead, Speed to Gafowski. So Lolita, also a little bit of an opponent ahead of me. Jumper Check is also an opponent for me for the top 10. Gained 3 places now. So this hurts a bit. Like, this would have been very important to be this little bit further in front. But I was already so happy with my race. Hard to say how I could have improved this much further. Of course, this far section ruined it for me. Like, if this far section didn't exist, it could have been maybe a bit different, but would have been definitely nice to be 9th here. Definitely nice. So if you look at the score line from only this match, then you see that Sander scored the most amount of points. The second most amount of points go to Drim, who was consistently always up there, but didn't really perform super extremely well. Also, he was always there, very consistent, but never really dominated, but that might change on Rally, for example. Then we got Roa, who is, thanks to Stadium, still on a very good score here, and has the 3rd most points. And on the 4th place comes then Lolo Max, who scored a whopping 1337 points today. That is surprising, because also Lolo Max, okay, 7th place costs him quite a lot, but here he won. Here he is 2nd. But again, Drim, for example, scores more points than Lolo Max, because he gets 55 extra points. Lolo Max didn't have any extra points. You even see 50 points from Roa, that pushes him basically to more points than Zepset. Even though Zepset was also in the fastest laps, with 1 time then, I guess. Yeah, and you see also that Neko got again good points here, but overall he lost quite a lot if you see these times. Again, yeah. A lot of Sander, but then also a mix with many drivers. Yeah, I get now 192. Also, there was the thing is, on Island and Rally, it won't be better for me, and Snow as well. Like, this is gonna be very tough for me tomorrow to even reach an 11th place. But I need to be around there if I don't want to lose too much on the others. Vet, for example, will do very well on Rally and can gain quite a lot of points to me there. but luckily he did not that good today. So in the overall standings, we see now Sander being ahead of Drim, then Neko still in third, very closely with Roa, who of course in the last race, Roa scored also better points than Neko. Neko was much better in their semi, where they were on the same server. Then Lolomax is in 5th place, but he has some good environments tomorrow, and he already did good today. But yeah, he definitely misses out on these fastest lap points. Also even on the map that he won, he only got 25 points. He got nothing on Bay, nothing on Stadium, so this is basically what kills Lolomax, that we have these fastest lap points rule. Zepset went up to 6th. He, with a good performance, he overtook Blackhead for now. I mean, yeah, Blackhead did not do well on Desert, not good enough for him. And Stadium is of course not his thing, but Bay was surprising. Yeah, so Zepset doing good job there, overtaking Blackhead and Phil, the next guy. Then Zeus is of course ahead of me, what a surprise. He was 12th in Stadium. He was also on Desert, only 3 places ahead of me. So overall that was actually not too bad in the direct fight. But then of course he gains now 5 positions on me here. And this is where he gains overall. Yeah, that's of course unfortunate. After these 3 envies would have been nice to stay ahead of Zeus still. Especially when he doesn't perform on Bay. Yeah, Jumper Check now is the closest behind me with 85 points difference. Then we have Grafowski, 5 points below. And then we have Lolita, a bit further behind. We got Spitzo, a bit further behind. Yeah, Spitzo didn't have his best day. And then we go to Vet and Lucario, who are then quite far behind. Vet can make damage on Rally though. So, I wanted to check the only 5th best score was Lolomax, behind Sander, Drim, Roa, no, 4th best score, then Lolomax, and then comes Neko with 1270. The 6th best score goes then obviously to Zepset. And then there is a pretty big gap from Zepset to the 7th best score. 7th best score goes to Zeus. And the 8th best score goes to me. So I scored the 8th most points today. And after me come Jumper Check and Phil with 672 points. Then 670 for Blackhead, 640 for Grafowski. Yeah. Alright. Not bad, not bad. What is Grand Final stats? Nothing. Okay. Nothing happens there. I mean, what kind of stats could you show there already now? Yeah, so overall, well, it's a good start into this. Tomorrow, I have basically the task to make sure that I somehow decently score points on the first 3 environments, and after that, there comes Coast in the very end. And Coast is the environment where I have to win. Also in Coast, it is possible. It is literally possible for me to get a top 3 place. This is doable on Coast. And it is also doable to get some fastest lap times. And this is basically what I have to go for. Because I can tell you, before Coast, I will be out of the top 10. People will have overtaken me with Rally Island and Snow. But I can but I can definitely on coast get these extra points, and that could make the difference to get into the top 10. So I clicked on that. Also I still don't see the top 24 times, to be honest. I don't know where you can see that, why it does only show 12 here. Oh wait. Ah, you can see that. Ach, is this... Ah. Okay. I still don't see a list of the top 24 times. But we can see what I drove. Drove a 107.20 in the start, then I drove 102.28.5, then a slow lap, maybe the one where I had that bug. 102 mid, 102 flat, 102.3, 0.1, 0.2, 0.6, 0.1, 0.1, 0.5, then a 101. Then 102.3, 0.1, then the sub, another sub, 102.1, 0.2, 0.4, 0.1, 0.5, and then I gave up and saved my position into the finish with a 103 in the end. Yeah, also you can say here I had a fast pace where I drove the sub twice in a row, bordered by 2.1s. Also here was another of my subs. Overall, I hope to be a little bit faster here on Stadium, I have to say. Also, I hope that I drive 0.7 as well, and that then I have quite a lot more 0.9s in the finish. That didn't work out, sadly. But still, it was very consistent overall. If you see then here, Rip. It's gone. It's gone. Yeah. Also 0.86. Mean 12.24 is my then 1.23, okay. Standard deviation, speed, pace, consistency 1.00, makes a grade of 9.35. Oh, it's a high grade. Rainbow Bridges, the desert map. I drove after the start lap 108.2, 0.5, 0.4, 0.9, 0.5, 0.4, then a 107.5, 107 again, then a 109, 108 again, 107, 108, 107, 108, 108, 107, 108, 107, 107, 108, 108, 107, and then my safe last lap to secure it. Actually, good. I'm happy with that. The desert was a big surprise. I mean, really. Didn't expect that. So now what did I drive in Bay? Like, this is now exciting. Because I wanted to drive below 108 quite often. And I mean, my PB is 106.2 theoretically, so I hope that I can get basically to that as well. But yeah, how did I drive? In the beginning with many cars around, later without cars. So I started and then 109.3. Okay. But then already a 107. Then 108. Then another 107. 108 low. 107 high. 107 lower. That's good. 108 high. 109 low. 108. 108. So then 107, 107, 107, 107, 107, 107.1. Also here, I really tried hard. 108 low, but then another 107 low, which was then my fastest time. Another 107. Really, really good. Also this reaching, also here, I'm really happy with this, and I mean, typically slower start, want to see how others are doing, I wait for, basically have a bit free vision and so on, but then, when I had the free vision, this was a really good performance. I'm happy with that. Too bad, I lose then over 3 seconds with a crash. And these 3 seconds alone did cost me basically the position against Phil. And then comes another 107. And in the last lap, I drove a 108.7 with a mistake. And it was still this time. But with a mistake, I got that. But yeah, you see at the start there were quite a lot of 108s, but already there a few 107 highs, but then I had a really good pace. And if you then look at jumper check, he drove from the beginning 107, 107. Then here other 107s, 106, 106, 107 low, 107 low, 106, 107, 107, 108, 106, 109, 106, 107, 106. And then he had here slow. Only 70 seconds, and here in the last lap 74 seconds. Ahead of him, Neko, 77 seconds in the last lap. And also 70 seconds for Zeus. So there have been ultra big mistakes in the end. Also you see that Neko finished with a 27.08 and his last lap was a 77 seconds time. He lost 10 seconds in the last lap, so he was in a fight with Sepset. He was in a fight with Sepset for 4th and ended up on 7th. But also Zeus made a mistake. And then Jumper Check also made huge mistake. That's why he was suddenly that close. Because ahead of Phil, there was like nobody all the time. I was like, where are they? They can't create such a huge gap to me. How is this possible? Naja. Okay. Interesting. Also on Bay, I have here consistency 0.99. Lolo Max obviously extremely good. The best time of Lolo Max is a 106.4. 106.4 is his best time, but he ends up in 2nd place. That means that he must have had extremely good places. So his consistency must have been out of this world. Like, I mean, not places, I want to say times. Like, very close to his best time. That's actually crazy. Too bad that this is now not working anymore. And try to open your... okay, they are doing something with the website. I would have liked to see that as well. Otherwise, decent. But you see how close this is gonna be to reach these top 10 in the end. Because I'm now top 10, but I did not really create a huge gap to the others. I am missing these two. I really need a perfect grand final, and I'm surprised with my desert result, definitely. And it was the perfect position I could have achieved. But I'm definitely missing on stadium. That was missing, like these 2 places that I could be better there, that getting a 4th place, like you need this one very good environment where you beat others. I hope I get that with Coast, but Coast can also go super wrong, but I have nothing to lose there. In Coast I can only go full attack to make it, yeah. Otherwise, Bay, of course, these 2 places and maybe a 3rd one against Jumper Check. Also an 8th place in Bay was exactly what I noted down as goal. That would have been amazing.